All right, guys. Welcome back to another Q&A, and this one's going to be not only another, it's another it's another Patreon exclusive Q&A. As always, if you want to be part of the next Q&A, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon, hit the first tier, and that'll allow you access to do so. But also, this is another interconnecting Q&A, much like the Shredder Foot Clan Q&A I did not too long ago. This is actually connected with the Mount Vernon kids Q&A. He's doing a He-Man Q&A, and here we are with Skeletor. Yeah. I can't do the voice the whole Q&A. I know some people were wondering if I'm going to do the whole voice in the during the Q&A. I can't keep that energy going the whole time. But without further ado, let's get started with the question, starting off with Michael, who asks, which origin do you prefer, the 2000 show or the Kevin Smith series origin? I think the Kevin Smith one is fine, but I like the 2000s origin. It's kind of dark, really. Like, Keldor gets acid to the face, and he just begs Hordak to save his life, and he just goes nuts. It's kind of like, it's pretty dark. I also have a real soft spot for the 2000s cartoon, so I'm sure I'll get more cute questions of that. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for that question, Michael. Moving on now to Gluzman, who asks, what is your favorite Skeletor meme or joke? I always love the "until we meet again" jokes. I love those. Those are the ones that I thoroughly love. And I also I also have a great affinity for the it's an awful one too. It's basically where Skeletor, it's like looking down, he has his hand there, and he's like, all right, unzipped pants. I like that one. Anyway, thank you for that question, Gluzman. Moving on now to Bill McLaughlin, who asks, what is your favorite version of Skeletor? No disrespect to the 80s cartoon and to other variants. But my personal favorite Skeletor is the 2000 Skeletor. That was the first time I ever watched He-Man, actually. In fact, I didn't even know there was a 80s cartoon for a while until I was like, oh, I'm dumb. So I'm a child of the 90s. Shut up. I know Chris just is like, the child of the 80s that he is. I'm the child of the 90s, and Chris probably just is hearing this and going, traitor. But I love the 2000s. That's my favorite Skeletor. Reason being as to why that's my favorite Skeletor is mostly because he walks this line of like terrifying and still ridiculous. Like, he basically has all these great one-liners, but at the same time, he actually feels like a threat. Not to say like the original Skeletor wasn't a threat, but good God, was he insane? He was also just hilarious. This one has like these colder jokes, and also like he also has like a menace to him. Like, there's a legitimate reason why in the 80s cartoon, you look at it and go, man, is everyone else just stupid outside of Evil Lyn? Here in the 2000s cartoon with Skeletor, this Skeletor is like, oh, you see why he's so he's just so menacing, and why his underlings fear him and follow him. There's actually like a great moment from that cartoon where Triclops tried to backstab Skeletor, and then at the end of the episode, he was like, I'm sorry, things happened and the Masters of the Universe arrived and attacked us. And he's like, oh, that's fine. You're free to go, Triclops, if you can get to the door. And it's like all these monsters that he tried to use to kill Skeletor, like in the doorway, and he's just like screaming. I mean, he lived, but like, that's just such a cold moment right there. So I'd probably say 2000 Skeletor. Who is someone you've always wanted? Second question. Who is someone you've always wanted to voice Skeletor? Oh, I like this question. What was I going to say? There's a few voice actors I would love to see voice Skeletor, because the thing is, I don't want like some dark foreboding voice. I think I like when Skeletor does have that like over the top energy. You need a Skeletor who can be like over the top and entertaining and fun. You need like someone for that. Like that's the thing you really need for a Skeletor, is a over the top kind of voice. Jason actually answered and said Robert Englund. I could honestly see Robert Englund do the voice of Skeletor in a cartoon. I like the guy they had for the Netflix cartoon. I would probably say David Desmelchin would be interesting. I think he would be a lot of fun, actually. David Desmelchin doing the voice of Skeletor. I think he would be a pretty solid one. I think also, if we're going by actual voice actors, I can't remember the actor's name. Actually, I'm going to look it up real fast because I'm so professional on this channel. It's the guy who does Lord Ainz from Overlord. So professional on this channel, but I did it like I just didn't want to, I just had to remember that name. Christopher Guerrero. Yeah. Christopher Guerrero would actually be, he does Lord Ainz in Overlord, and you listen to him and like he's got this really great voice, but he's also really good at playing over the top. And also he's basically playing Skeletor already in Overlord. Why not, right? Anyway, thank you for that. You got one more question. Sorry. Third question. What is your favorite "Until We Meet Again" meme? I've got a few. Nothing I could really think of off the top of my head. How about this one? Remember, there's always a chance your mother could have swallowed you. Until we meet again. That's awful, I know, but they're all kind of levels of awful. Thank you for those questions, Bill. Moving on now to Tom Hibbert, who asks, do you prefer Skeletor and King Randor to be brothers, as in the 2003 cartoon and in the Netflix cartoon, or do you prefer Skeletor to be an unrelated king or random general like in Filmation cartoon in the recent movie? I kind of like it when they're not brothers. I'm so tired, and it's not He-Man. It's not the cartoon's fault. I'm just genuinely tired of... I am just genuinely tired of the evil uncle routine. I'm so tired of it. I just never liked the idea of Keldor and Randor being brothers. I preferred it more as like a random general or evil king or something, or just dark sorcerer. Yeah, that's what I've kind of preferred more. I'm just so tired of the evil uncle routine in cartoons, so I like it. I like it when Skeletor doesn't have a personal connection to He-Man. I think it actually works a lot better. Anyway, so second question. Do you think Skeletor is a good example of a villain that is evil because he likes being evil? I ask because we kind of get less of those villains nowadays. Yeah, I think that's the beauty of Skeletor, is that he's just an asshole. That's his whole motivation, is, I'm evil and I just want power. That's his whole motif. There's no sad backstory. There's no complexity to him. And sometimes you just need a villain to do that. And I love how in every iteration of He-Man, no matter what variant of He-Man you have, no matter what version of He-Man is out there, there is always, and I stress always, Skeletor doesn't have a sad backstory. He's just consistently a dick in every incarnation of He-Man. He's just an asshole no matter what. Like, there's no sad backstory. There's nothing. Even when he does the evil uncle routine, he's just evil. So I like that. And I'm not saying, every villain needs to be overtly evil, but not that at the same vein, in the same tone of that thought process. Not every villain needs to be a sad backstory. They can be complex, like Demona, and you can still hate them. But like, yeah, not everyone needs a sob story to be evil or try to justify their actions. You know, sometimes it's okay to be like Skeletor or Lord Thanquol or, you know, uh, pick anyone from 40K. Anyway, third question. What are your thoughts on Mark Hamill as Skeletor in Kevin Smith's He-Man cartoon? I thought he was great. The moment Mark Hamill was announced to be Skeletor, I was like, you could not have picked a better person to play Skeletor. And by God, he was one of the best parts of that cartoon, of hamming it up and also playing it serious. Yeah, Mark Hamill was like one of the like that whole voice cast was pretty solid, but I will definitely say that his version, like Mark Hamill, when it was announced that he was going to be Skeletor, I immediately thought you could not have found anyone better than Mark Hamill. So thank you for those questions, Tom. Moving on now to MVK, or as I know him as, the the YouTuber formerly known as Mount Vernon Kid. First question. Could you imagine if Skeletor had a son? I feel like they've tried to do that before, right? Like, I feel like they have legitimately tried to do that in some carnations, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like that has been a thing a few times over. I feel like that was in one of the DC books, right? I'm going crazy, but I feel like it's been done before. Like, I feel like it's been done in there. Like, I feel like, I actually feel like it's been done, but if it hasn't, I think it'd be kind of cool, and also to have, like, but who would be the mom? Evil Lynn? I mean, it'd be a little obvious, but yeah. But I don't want the son of Skeletor to be like a, you know, he wants to battle his father and protect Eternia alongside He-Man. No, I want him to be just as much a dick as his dad is. Like, he's a chip off the old block. Like, I need like a Lotor, or more aptly put, Jose from oh god, what was it? Jose from what was that card? It was from Brazil. Oh my god. Cyber 6. Yeah, Jose from. I need, like, he's just as equally as bad as his father. So yeah, like Jose from Cyber 6 or Lotor from Voltron. So, second question. Outside of Evil Lynn, who do you feel will betray Skeletor if they had the chance? And I've always thought Triclops. I mean, Mantrap and Beastman and Merman have all been like kind of like, I'm scared of Skeletor. But Evil Lynn has always been consistently one who has tried to stand up to him and Starscream him. But the other person, especially in the 2000s cartoon, was Triclops. Triclops, especially, like I said, especially in the 2000s cartoon, Triclops would always try to, would sometimes try to usurp him, but I think that shit got shut down a few times, honestly. So, yeah. Third question. Do you like that Skeletor had his own big cat? I do love Panther. He's a lot of fun. I wish they would utilize him more in a lot of stuff. So yeah, absolutely love Panther. So what more can I say? But anyway, thank you for those questions, Chris. And let's move on to our next set of questions, which come from, sorry for the background noise, David Deister, who asks, how do you feel about Jared Leto's performance as Skeletor? Well, I haven't seen the movie yet, but from what I understand, Jared Leto is the best part of that movie, which is a shocking thing to say. Like, yeah, Jared Leto is the best part of the movie. I thought he was going to be the worst. Like, again, Jared Leto is toxic for box office, and this proves true, but apparently he's the only one who knows that he's in a He-Man movie. Like, everyone else tries to play it up seriously and whatnot, but, like, he's the only one who realizes, I know what movie I'm in. I'm gonna be Skeletor. So it's a weird thing when it's a hell of a thing when your movie is um when quite literally your movie it has the best thing going for it, and it's Jared Leto. Second question: if there was a new Masters of the Universe cartoon, who would you cast as Skeletor? Okay, I already kind of did this with favorite, like who would voice him, so I've already kind of talked about this. So I'm gonna, unfortunately, David, I've kind of, yeah, sorry, those are the rules. Third question: where would you rank Skeletor on a scale of 1 to 10 of 80s villains? He's one of the big five. Like, without a doubt, he is 100% one of the big five villains in 80s villains. And what I mean by that is it's Skeletor, Megatron, Shredder, Mum-Ra, and Cobra Commander. Yeah, that's the big five right there. There's no there's those five and then everyone else. So he is a solid 10 out of 10 in terms of sheer evilness and villainy. It's a 10 out of 10. No sad backstory. I'm evil. I don't need a backstory. Yeah. So thank you for those questions, David. Moving on now to Hunter Johnson, who asks, what would Skeletor think of Lord Hater? The idea of Skeletor and Lord Hater just being near each other is hysterical in its own right, but I think Skeletor would think, you bumbling brain-addled buffoon, you are a sad imitation of the mighty Skeletor. Yeah, without a doubt, he would probably just think Lord Hater's a big idiot, not realizing that he's a big idiot. It would be a pot calling kettle black moment. Second question: what if Skeletor had his own movie or TV show? Skeletor had his own TV show. It'd have to be a comedy. The only way we'd get a Skeletor TV show, honestly, is from without. And I say this unironically, it would be a Robot Chicken skit. It would just be the Robot Chicken Skeletor moments as a show. That's the only way we get it. Not some dark and scary show. No one's going to take a dark Skeletor TV show seriously. We all know that Skeletor's a meme, so just embrace it and have it just be robot a Skeletor Robot Chicken spinoff. That's how you do that. Third question: thoughts on a scenario where Skeletor and the other 1980s cartoon villains are at a bar? So again, I have to stress, this is another Robot Chicken skit. That's that's the big thing, is that it's a Robot Chicken skit. Without it, yeah, that's what you get. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Hunter Johnson. Moving on now to Jason Voorhees 2011, who asks, who would you cast as Skeletor in the movie instead of Jared Leto? Well, it's weird to say that Jared Leto was the best part of that movie, but I would probably say like I said, for voicing, David Dastmalchian. I think, honestly, both voicing and live action, David Dastmalchian would be a solid pick for Skeletor. I think he would be really good as Skeletor. I think also, because here's the thing, again, you need an actor who knows what they are, or who knows what role this is, and goes for it full throttle. So I'm not saying Flula Borg as Skeletor, though. You need someone who can be bombastic and crazy. If Robert Englund could have been cool, but I think he's too old. Jackie Earle Haley would be a fun one. I think, yeah, Jackie Earle Haley, now that I think about it, Jackie Earle Haley would be an interesting Skeletor in live act. I think he would be a cool live action Skeletor. Yeah. You said Ben Mendelsohn, by the way, and I like that. I do like Ben Mendelsohn is also a really solid pick, come to think of it, yeah. So Ben Mendelsohn would be a really good one, too. Second question: what classic Skeletor line do you like quoting? I am not nice. I think that a lot. Whenever someone tells me to be nice, or, let's be nice, I just respond with a meme of, I am not nice. Just immediately. And again, the context doesn't help. So, I am not nice. It's so simple yet effective. If Dark Horse ever does a Skeletor-centric comic, who would you like to see write it? Well, I think Tim Seeley has literally done every other He-Man book, so how about we give the reins to someone other than Tim Seeley? I would greatly appreciate a book outside of Tim Seeley. How about that? But if I was to pick like a writer, probably Joshua Williamson would be fun. I think he would be good. I think also Cullen Bunn. He's written Skeletor before, so I think that'd be cool. And he's also good at villain books. So Cullen Bunn or Williamson. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Jason. Moving on now to Gordon Rajani, who asks, why do you think Skeletor has remained such an iconic villain after all these years? Because he's fun. That's really the only answer you kind of need, is that he's just a fun villain. Like, there's no real rhyme or reason. Skeletor, he's fun. He can walk this line of dark and brooding, and he's just probably fun to write. It's like Joker, where he's just fun to write. Second question: thoughts on his Dolph Lundgren? Oh, his portrayal in the Dolph Lundgren movie. It sucks. Like, it straight up sucks, guys. It is not good. That's all I can say. And favorite design of Skeletor, I kind of answered this already, Gordon, and that was like favorite interpretation, but favorite design, yeah, I'm still going to go with the 2000s cartoon. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is the Skeletor Q&A. I want to thank everyone who sent in questions for this Q&A, and again, stay tuned on Mount Vernon Kid's channel and go check out his thing. Go check out his channel, because I imagine the He-Man Q&A will be coming out soon. It's connected to this one, so yeah, we'll probably do this again in like a month or so, but yeah. Anyway, but thank you again for everyone who sent in questions. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.